Yeah, true. Yeah.
You got a heart of gold, just like your mother. And no matter how angry you get, you'll never be
Alright, can we
your
start over?
father. I promise you. your mother. And no matter how angry you get, you'll never be your
Can we start over?
father. I promise.
And it kind of like gets to the volume that I'm just gonna like play around with those like a little bit. Yeah, shoot. Yeah.
You got a heart of gold, just like your mother. And no matter how angry you get, you'll never be your
Can we start over?
father. I promise.
And it kind of like gets to the volume that I'm just gonna like play around with those like a little bit. Yeah, shoot. Yeah.
You got a heart of gold, just like your mother. And no matter how angry you get, you'll never be your
Can we start over?
father. I promise.
And it kind of like gets to the volume that I'm just gonna like play around with those like a little bit. Yeah, shoot. Yeah.
You got a heart of gold, just like your mother. And no matter how angry you get, you'll never be your
Can we start over?
father. I promise.
And it kind of like gets to the volume that I'm just gonna like play around with those like a little bit. Yeah, shoot. Yeah.
You got a heart of gold, just like your mother. And no matter how angry you get, you'll never be your
Can we start over?
father. I promise.
And it kind of like gets to the volume that I'm just gonna like play around with those like a little bit.
What drew me in about these dancers, these individual artists of Estrella Emergence, these warriors, as I like to say, they really each brought their own They brought themselves to the table. I'm a firm believer that dancers are not just dancers. We're healers. We're warriors. We're so powerful in everything that we do. Beginning, we see these four women of Estrella Emergence tethered to a location with it on them. They then transform it and are in just their skin with this light energy, this light design, and finally by the end they're wearing these silk dresses, and this embodiment of red symbolizes that we are not afraid of the darkness. We actually are learning from it and making peace with it. And this whole idea of Estrella Emergence and emerging from the light, celebrating the darkness and the transition to light, it all comes to play with this idea of staring into the unknown. What drew me in about these dancers, these individual artists of Estrella Emergence, these warriors, as I like to say, they really each brought their own. They brought themselves to the table. I'm a firm believer that dancers are not just dancers. We're healers. We're warriors. We're so powerful in everything that we do. Beginning, we see these four women of Estrella Emergence tethered to a location with it on them. They then transform it and are in just their skin with this light energy, this light design, and finally by the end they're wearing these silk dresses, and this embodiment of red symbolizes that we are not afraid of the darkness. We actually are learning from it and making peace with it. And this whole idea of Estrella Emergence and emerging from the light, celebrating the darkness and the transition to light, it all comes to play with this idea of staring into the unknown.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the live stream premiere of Estrella Emergence. I am so sorry for the technical difficulties, as we say now. In the beginning, we had some Wi-Fi issues. That is totally okay. Kind of wanted to give a little bit of room for people to transition and feed in. If you know anyone watching and are having a little problems with the link, please share the new one. I'm trying to get that out to everybody. And yeah, let's begin. So, Estrella Emergence. As I said right now, like I'm overwhelmed with all the love and the support I have been getting from everyone. Over the last 2 or 3 months, I've been sharing a little bit about Estrella, sharing some reels, sharing some rehearsal footage, and really just allowing what I had just created to sit with me and get it ready to share with the world. As I've said before, this whole idea of Estrella Emergence was a movement. It was this energy I wanted to create, especially in the times we live in now. It was an energy I wanted to create that would share some humanity to the world, share some love, share the transition that we're all working through right now. You of course will experience in watching this, and I encourage you to come up with some questions for after the film, as I'll be doing a little Q&A to get some feedback, some information, any questions that would like to be answered. I would like to thank Rama Gaming, Mississauga Arts Council, and Charitable House Gaming for their endless support and their funding. Without you all, this would not have been possible. I also want to thank Canada Film Equipment. You all really lit the way, literally, for this film and really worked with me so willingly and so generously in creating this vision. I would love to show so much gratitude to Raven Inn Recordings, specifically Robert Ansel, the owner of Raven Inn Recordings, for giving me permission to use the music of this film. It was very generous of him to share that with me. The soundtrack is compiled of the artist Raven Inn Recordings and Gabriel Roth in the Mirrors. Gabriel Roth sadly passed away, but her movement and her energy is still alive today. I would finally like to thank the Aura House and MOD Dancewear and Boutique. You all were so loving and amazing with this whole process, really sponsoring me in every way you could and helping me with this vision to life. I want to thank my family for physically, mentally, spiritually being there with me, and really putting in all the blood, sweat, and tears into creating this vision to life. Finally, I want to thank my dancers and my videographers. You all have so much love, and I have so much love for you. My videographer, Mark, is an absolute king. He was so willing to work with me and really be so generous with his time and support. I want to thank my dancers, Flora, Larissa, Soraya, and Tegan. These artists are warriors. They are healers, as I say. They are change makers. They are everything. Without them, it would not have been possible. Yes, I'm so excited to now finally share Estrella Emergence, and I hope you all enjoy.
There's a place I know only I can go, and no one else can go there for me. place I know. Only I can go, and no one else can go there for me. Yes, no one else can go there for me.
Thank you all so much for your love in the chat, and all the messages that I've been getting. That was Estrella Emergence. I'm so beyond happy with so much love that I was able to share that with you all. Yes, thank you guys all so much, everybody. Honestly, I feel the love, I feel the energy. I will say now, if you have any questions, anything to share, anything you want to know about the process, this is the time. Type it in the chat. I would love to talk and share what this crazy journey has been. As that filters in, I will share a little bit about my own personal journey with this. So the beginning of this year, with the pandemic, I am very, very much into manifestation and going for my dreams. One of those things was applying for something pretty big, in the very beginning last year in 2020. Yeah, 2020. And you know what? It was something pretty prestigious and pretty out there. And I was like, am I really gonna do this? But we were all at home, and I said, why not? So I applied for this opportunity, and I was fixated, and I was all into this idea. And months went by, and I was let known that unfortunately I wasn't offered the opportunity, but that I made the shortlist. And normally I wouldn't share this, but what this did after I processed and took in the information was it ignited this whole new world for me, this whole new energy, and this whole new way of looking at things with everything that I would do onwards. I started to apply to even more things and more things out there, and that scared me so much. Now come to today, Mississauga Arts Council has generously given me and selected me for this film. I have created this with my lovely dancers and artists, and I'm sharing it with you guys all today. Yeah, that's kind of the backstory of this whole new journey for me of my creations and visions and bringing them to life. And yeah, I'm gonna answer some questions now. So from Nicholas said, curious how the movement was generated. Great question, Nicholas. Yeah, I think with any creative process, movement is something, of course, is there. There are many ways that artists and choreographers find their own way. But I had a really short time with my dancers. So I personally created the soundtrack, had it ready beforehand. And once we got into the space, I played the whole track, we got warm to it, and I generated it all on the spot. Um, it was one of the first times coming back to having dancers with me and creating. So I would move to different parts of the music, highlighting different accents, different sensations, different shapes, really. I would force myself to move into ways that I normally haven't. I would challenge myself and my dancers, and really from there on it just layered and layered. We did this in such a short amount of time, and when I tell you every day was even more love and even more creation, and this whole energy, I think all of my dancers can agree, just built and created what we have now. Yeah, so that's kind of how the movement was generated. Another question. Let's see. What was the significance of the color red? Great question, Mark. So this whole idea with Estrella Emergence and a little bit that I share with the behind the scenes is this idea of red is symbolic of the darkness. And with this pandemic that we are in, we kind of are in darkness. We're finally breaching through and working together as humanity. But my goal for this film was to share with everyone that they have the light in them to transform and move forward. So in the beginning, we see these artists, these women, these warriors in red. We see them, it tied to them. We see them tethered to a location with it, moving in a way that expresses the voice and the idea of there's a place I know that only I can go, as the lyrics say, and that no one else can go there for me. So these burdens of everyday life, this energy we've been feeling is tied to us, and we're tethered to a literal location. We then see our artists or warriors transform to a scene where they're in flesh, and this light energy on them with this white shoulder. And what that symbolizes is the transformation of finding our light within us. From there on, we wake up from this reality. We fully are aware of the darkness, and we don't throw away this red darkness or this negative energy. We fully embody it, and we are in these silk long red dresses. My ladies are, and they move to the music. They move to the rhythm, and they find their own pockets of joy, of celebration. So by the end of this film, we are now embracing the red and we are embracing the darkness and saying, "I'm here. I can see you," and yeah, I accept it and I'm ready to transform with you. So that was kind of a little long, but it was that was the meaning of the red. It was about embodying it and just staring into the unknown with trust and what that meant to each of us. Um, Alexandria said, "I love the fog and cinematic aspect. Was there a symbolic meaning to you?" Yes, I was very fortunate. Again, with Mississauga Arts Council funding, I was able to apply certain different cool aspects and ideas to the film. The fog kind of was meant to create this cinematic experience of entering into a new world almost. This idea of a dream state where we access all this information and we're ready to transform. We see it a little bit in the beginning and middle and end. So that's kind of the points in the journey where we're transforming and we're working through our own lessons in life and we're ready to fully embrace it in our new journey. Um, let's see, maybe I can answer one more. What was the process as a choreographer? So, like I said in the beginning, going for dreams that can seem really scary and big, but just doing it anyway. This year was about change for me, and really finding the power in me, in all of us that we all have, but remembering it and igniting the power that lies within me. With anything that I did, with any of my struggles that I have, igniting that and physically saying that to myself, I ignite the power that lies within me, and I remember that. Um, so although that doesn't really seem like it connects to choreography and movement, this thing that I told myself inspired all of it, and it allowed me to find my own creative voice and artistry. I think that is it for the Q&A. Before I wrap up, I want to share this thought for all of you. Remember, you are the light. No matter how dark the times seem in this world right now, we are all the light. You are all the light you need is inside of you. You are Estrella, the light the world needs. So if you want to take something from this, remember you have the light that is in you. It is always there, and it has always been there in all directions of time and in all realities. You have the power. Thank you everyone for watching. This was Estrella Emergence.